Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time for this week's video. Get ready. Well, you know how we often say that the scriptures were all about Jesus, they were not about us? Well, Jesus said that himself. He said the scriptures were about him. Um, and so today I'd like to read to you from Isaiah something that it said or foretold about Jesus. So let me go to Isaiah chapter 42, verse 21. It says, "The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable." Um, that was a bit of an eye-opener for me when I read it a couple of years ago, because Jesus really, um, he invoked the law against the people a lot during his 3-year ministry. He was constantly correcting the Pharisees and some of the people as well with the law, because by that point the Jews had so manipulated the law, watered it down, created loopholes and exceptions so that it would somehow make it easier for the people to obey the law, so that they could somehow qualify and say, I obey the law. Because the law, according to the law, even though there are 613 rules or laws, um, even if you break one, you are guilty of having broken them all. So, and Jesus even corrected people and said, you know, uh, but I say, even if a man looks on a woman with lust in his heart, he has committed adultery. See, the law was very tight, and there were no exemptions, exceptions, loopholes, nothing. But that's because he was always correcting the Jews, because the Jews thought their righteousness was in their obedience to the law. And he was trying to show them that it was impossible to be obedient to the law and that there was no righteousness for them in it. So, but he came to make it honorable. And by putting the law back in its proper perspective, the way it was constructed, and for the purpose that it was created, he made it honorable. And then he took it away. See, according to Paul, the law was fulfilled and abolished in Jesus at the cross. It was abolished and it was taken away. It was ended. It's like Jesus said, enough is enough. We've had hundreds of years of this law, and it does not produce any righteousness. No one can, through their own obedience, become righteous. The only way these people are going to become righteous is through my obedience and my belief. And so it was by the faith and the grace of Christ and his obedience, as Paul says in Galatians and again in Romans, that salvation came to all and the law was taken away. And but before he took it away, he brought honor back to it, because it was dishonored. Anybody who tries to find their righteousness in obedience to the Old Testament law dishonors the Old Testament law, dishonors it. I know it's revolutionary, but have a revolutionary week.